And we're live. Hello, truth seekers. Vince Revo here with another episode of the Revo Report. And today we're diving into a fascinating exchange between an apologist, Cliffe Knechtle, and an atheist that tackles some of the most profound questions about existence, meaning, and value. And this conversation hits at the very core of what it means to be human. But before I break this down, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this discussion? Let us know if you find yourself nodding along with one side or the other. Your voice matters in this conversation. This gets pretty heated, so let's get right into it. Welcome to the Revo Report. We're inspiring faith with reason and reason with faith.
The problem is that that's not speaking to whether there's a God. And I'm specifically asking about.
No, you cut me off at the knees when it came to answering that.
I'm sorry? How?
You cut me off intellectually at the knees because I started to answer you and you said, I don't want to go through all those arguments that have gone over the past 2,000 years over whether God exists or not.
No, yeah, you're right.
You cut me off at the knees intellectually. So let's not act like, oh yeah, you've come out here with an open mind, inviting me to explain to you why I believe God exists.
No, that's not what I'm asking. It's
you didn't.
not.
You cut me right off.
I'm not asking you to explain why you believe in God. I'm really not.
I know you're
because I've
not.
been doing that for 20 years.
Right.
What I want to know is, given that I've already decided that that the evidence doesn't support it, is the question done? Is there further work to be done here? If I know that the best evidence supports that there's no God, is there further work? Should I still keep looking?
Yeah.
Simply because of the knowledge of my own imperfection.
Yeah, you sure should. And I told you why. Because like it or not, you have to answer the question, is human life valuable? If so, why?
Well, I've answered though. There's nothing to do with God.
Yeah, and you're up a creek without a paddle when it comes to explaining why human life has value if there is no God. Innate intrinsic value.
Yeah.
If there is no God, I give my life value, you give your life value, or society gives your life value, but it's not innate and intrinsic, which means if you happen to be born at the time of the Dred Scott decision and you happen to be a black person, tough luck. You are 3/5 the value of white folks according to the U.S. Supreme Court. That's what society has decided. And my point is, I could give a rip about what society decides. Racism is absolutely wrong because human beings are created in the image of God. They have an intrinsic, innate value that is not determined by my opinion, your opinion, or the United States government's opinion.
How is God giving us value more intrinsic than us giving ourselves value?
Because if there is no God, your number came up in a Monte Carlo game, you are a freak accident of nature. You do not get value out of a freak accident. You get nothing. You get meaninglessness. Then you have to create your own value. But if you choose not to create the same value tomorrow that you did today, you're not wrong. You're not right, because it's all a crapshoot.
Exactly.
It's all, do you like broccoli or corn? What's your taste? Oh, tomorrow you like the other one more than the one you like today? Just taste. So you want to be Mother Teresa today? Great, go be Mother Teresa. Tomorrow, you want to be Adolf Hitler? Just your taste. Go ahead. It's all meaningless, sir. Despair is honest atheism. Despair is honest atheism. Don't take it from me.
Have really fundamental
Nietzsche,
logical
Camus,
disagreements.
Sartre knocked it right out of the ballpark.
No, I mean, you can't just say these things. That
Read
if
it
a
for
person
yourself.
makes a decision, it's inherently arbitrary. That any person can't make the. You're even bringing up Camus. You're even bringing up the people who specifically said that people are the ones who make decisions about meaning.
And it's all relative.
No, it has
It's
nothing
all
to do with
meaningless.
relevance.
Well, just read Lettre by Camus. First lines of the book are the words of a young teenage boy who says, yesterday mother died. Well, what's it today? Who gives a rip? Life is meaningless. It doesn't matter whether mother died last week or yesterday. Life is absurd. And that's what Camus struggled with. And that's why Camus said the only question modern man must answer is, why not commit suicide? Why go on sucking wind and living? If it's all meaningless, if it doesn't matter whether you're Adolf Hitler II or Mother Teresa II, realize life is a meaningless trip.
And this is the exact illusion of self-created value. When Cliffe Knechtle makes this powerful point that without God, human value becomes subjective and arbitrary, it's absolutely true. Because when an atheist will claim, I give my life value, he's actually highlighting the problem. If value is self-determined or even society-determined, then it's not intrinsic. It's conditional and it's changeable based off of what that individual or what that society is ascribing value to. It was C.S. Lewis that brilliantly put it this way: if the whole universe has no meaning, we should never have found that it has no meaning. Just as if there were no light in the universe, and therefore no creatures with eyes, we should never know it was dark. What C.S. Lewis was recognizing here was that our very ability to question meaning points to something beyond ourselves. Historically, we've seen the horrific consequences of society determined values. Is it the dictator determining values? You see, during the Nuremberg trials following World War II, the defendants argued they were simply following their society's laws. That was their defense. And it's because without an objective moral standard beyond human opinion, beyond society's opinion, how could we definitively say they were wrong? Because then the Nazis could say, oh, well, that's what was right in our society. And Hitler could say, well, that's what was right to me. Killing those Jews was my value. I determined they do not have a value, so I will kill them. Studies even show that when societies abandon belief in objective moral values, ethical boundaries become increasingly blurred and malleable. And if you're finding value in this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like, ring that notification bell. We're constantly bringing you conversations with some of the greatest minds of our day and are tackling these profound questions of truth and meaning that affect everyday life. You know, I have no doubt that atheism or people that are atheists are trying to be honest. I think all of us are trying to be honest. But the second point here that Cliffe Knechtle makes is also very powerful. Despair is honest atheism. This is not just Cliffe Knechtle's opinion. This is echoed by many atheist philosophers themselves. When the stranger is referenced and its portrayal of life's absurdity, even Friedrich Nietzsche, perhaps the most influential atheist philosopher, acknowledged this reality when he wrote, "In some remote corner of the universe, there once was a star on which clever animals invented knowledge. That was the haughtiest and most mendacious minute of the world's history. Yet only a minute. After nature had drawn a few breaths, the stars grew cold, and the clever animals had to die." What was Nietzsche saying here? He was saying, without God, we're left with a cold, indifferent universe. Even in neurological studies, research has constantly shown that humans are hardwired for meaning. Studies from the University of Pennsylvania found that people who report having a strong sense of purpose grow greater resilience against depression and anxiety. Our brains literally function better when we operate within a framework of meaning and purpose. And I encourage you to share this video with someone who's searching for truth, meaning, purpose. These aren't just philosophical musings. They're questions that shape how we live our lives and find purpose in a seemingly purposeless and chaotic world. And finally, there's the inescapable question of suicide. If life truly has no inherent meaning, why continue living? As Cliffe Knechtle notes, atheist philosophers believed the only serious philosophical question was whether to commit suicide. Imagine that. Because when you say there is no such thing as truth, you have already made a truth claim. The question is not whether you have a faith system. The question is whether the faith system you have is a good one. Even statistics support this philosophical concern. According to research published in JAMA Psychiatry, religious belief and practice are associated with significantly lower rates of suicide. Why is that? A meta-analysis of 89 studies found that religious affiliation, mainly Christian, was associated with a 33% lower risk rate of suicidal behavior. Even Jean-Paul Sartre, the famous existentialist philosopher, admitted near the end of his life, "I do not feel that I am the product of chance, but someone who was expected, prepared, prefigured, in short, a being whom only a creator could put here." The Bible echoes this beautifully in Ecclesiastes 3:11. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. We have an innate sense that there must be more than this material existence. And friends, This isn't just a philosophical debate. It's about the foundation of how we live. Because without God, we're left trying to build meaning on shifting sands. But the good news is that we don't have to. Jesus Christ came to transform our existence from meaningless to meaningful. He died on the cross for your sins and mine. And he didn't stay dead. He rose again and is alive today. And he takes our trials and turns it into triumphs, our mess into his message, our brokenness into beauty, our wounds into wisdom. When we understand that we are created with purpose by a loving God, everything changes. Our lives are no longer random accidents, but part of a grand story of redemption. And so here's my challenge to you. Don't settle for a worldview that ultimately leads to despair. Explore the evidence with an open heart. The God who created the universe, the same God who knows your name and longs for a relationship with you. And that, my friends, changes everything.